Hi everybody, I'm Jason Fertig, Associate Professor of Management at the Romaine College of Business. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how here at USI, our research and our teaching really works hand in hand. We really believe at this school that we're here as a mentoring role to our students. And that mentoring role actually influences some of the work we do. And in this case, I'm going to talk to you about a recent piece of work that myself and Dr. Chad Milowitz did on the DISC profile and how that relates to our students. So again, part of being a good mentor is allowing your mentee to be vulnerable and to develop trust. And one of the best ways to develop that trust is to use a personality instrument. Now, a lot of people are kind of afraid of personality instruments because it could potentially segment people or put them in a box, but that is actually not the case. The beauty of doing an instrument is that aside from looking at superficial traits, you could get some academically validated measures of personality, and that's a jumping off point to which you can kind of disclose some information about yourself. So in this case, what we use here at USI is the DISC profile. Okay, and so this DISC profile and the data that we collected actually influenced some of our research. And the DISC profile is very similar to something like the Myers-Briggs or Strength Finder or Color Code or something like that, in that it gives a picture of an individual's personality in a most basic sense. The beauty of the DISC profile, though, is that not only do you learn about yourself very quickly, but you're actually able to learn what other people are even quicker. With some of the other modules or some of the other assessments, it takes time to learn, but as we want to say, we want to learn quickly. So in this case, if we were to draw on the back of a napkin, the DISC profile would look something like this. On the top, we have extroversion, and on the bottom, we have introversion. Okay? And on the left, we have task-focused, and on the right, we have people-focused. Okay? And when we look at the DISC profile, we have 4 different areas of the DISC. We have dominance, we have influence, we have steadiness, and we have compliance. Now, the beauty of this is once you see this right here, you understand the DISC profile. This is what I call the back of the napkin. You could write it on the back of your napkin. You could take a picture of it and keep it on your smartphone. I know that some people will disagree with me, but this is essentially a good picture of human behavior, especially in the workplace. So when our students take this and they work in teams and they want to talk about some strengths and weaknesses, we now have it right here. All right, so when we look at dominance as extroversion task, influence is extroversion people. Steadiness is introversion people, compliance is introversion task. Students can also have versions of this as well. And so when we put students together in a team and we want to figure out what their strengths and weaknesses are, well, let's put it this way. If you are someone who is dominant, right over here, so you like to be in control, you like to be assertive, you want to dictate the pace of work. If you're someone down here who is more steady, then you're the type of person who's very agreeable. You don't always want conflict. You are the glue that holds teams together. And so by taking this instrument, right, we can get a lot of data about our students, and we could also work better with them, and they could work better with each other. Now, what's interesting is that we have had right now 415 students take the DISC profile. Okay? And of these 415, you will find that 60 to 70% of them are over in this area right here. So when we're looking at our, and these are, I should preface that these are our College of Business students. So when the students get together and when professors see students, we're aware, we want to assume that, again, they're not just a homogeneous blob of students. They come with their own traits and characteristics and behaviors and experience. But among those traits is we have this idea of the SC profile. So the compliance, steadiness, or some form of that. So what that essentially means is that there are a lot of introverts in our classes. And if we are going to mentor these students, what we don't want to do is assume that they are up here. We don't want to assume that we have a whole class of extroverts who want to be around people and are skilled at the art of persuasion. We want to help them get up here. We want to allow them, because this is not a box that somebody is in. These are fluid. and if they're not fluid, you're allowed to flex your profiles in different ways. So here at the USI, here at the Romaine College of Business, one of our goals is, again, mentoring. And so when we find out where our students are, we are now able to coach and counsel them to be at their most effective. So if, as I've experienced, a lot of our students are down here in the introversion boxes, shall we say, then we don't want to, again, assume that we should just cold call on everyone and have a lot of success in the classroom. We need to build students up to that. And again, in this case, we do have some other students who are up here, but this is the beauty of the research, is that we now have an unbiased way of creating a starting point with our students. It is not necessarily a bad thing. Again, you are not in these boxes permanently. This is a way that students can become more vulnerable and allow us to trust them, right? There's a lot of ways that people can talk about themselves, but a lot of times we're always afraid to talk about our weaknesses, and we're afraid that people are judging. When you understand your DISC profile, you understand that here, well, you know what happens if I'm not in control? Well, that's not that good, right? I may have to learn to dial this back a little bit, or else the situation won't work out. Or what happens if I'm down here, right? What happens if I'm asked to give a speech, but this is the way I like to operate? Well, we have to learn to be flexible. We have to learn to train ourselves to dial these traits up and stress out later. So again, this is I should say this is research that myself and one of my colleagues has performed on the DISC profile. We're continuing to do it, and this is continually influencing the way we teach. Again, for everyone, this is a positive assessment. This is designed to help us mentor our students. This is designed to help the students understand each other, and it's also designed to help the students answer some good interview questions on their job. So if you have any questions, I can be reached at jfertig@usi.edu. Hope this was helpful to you. Thank you very much.